Hey everyone, I'm back with a new update. Today, I weigh 146.4 pounds. That's up 0.2 pounds from yesterday. Not really much of a significant jump now, is it? Now, what I ate today included a keto-friendly hot chocolate, which included 2 tablespoons of half and half, 1 cup of coffee, 1 melted keto-friendly chocolate square that was sweetened with monk fruit with little peppermint grains in there. And I think that's about it for the cocoa. Oh yeah, of course, and cocoa powder. And 2 equals. Next up, I had a keto-friendly peanut butter and jelly sandwich with the My Normal jelly, regular peanut butter, and 2 low-carb breads. The next thing that I ate were 2 grilled hot dogs. I grilled them outside on our grill. I made sure to cut little slits in them so that way they could get a perfect amount of heating on the inside out, and they wouldn't be cold in the middle. I don't like hot dogs that are cold in the middle after being grilled. It's always disappointing. 2 keto breads once again with mayonnaise, mustard, and a new addition, zero sugar ketchup. It was quite good. I also had 11 Harvest Snap green bean snap chip things, and an A&W zero sugar. And the last thing that I ate today, the last full meal, was a ham and cheese keto-friendly sandwich with mustard, mayonnaise, cayenne pepper, keto seed bread, Black Forest ham, and cheddar cheese Tillamook. I also had about 20, hold on. Like 35 grams of chicharrones with some Louisiana hot sauce on. Alrighty, well, oh yeah, and an A&W zero sugar as well. And a cup of coffee. Yes, late at night, I know. And I consumed 2 pieces of chicken that my sister made. She made a special dish that included peanut butter, soy sauce, and sesame oil mixed with chicken. And it was really good. It was very flavorful. That was the last thing that I ate. The last thing I consumed were my vitamins. All right, and now we can go on to any potential exercise done. Well, to tell you the truth, the exercise was kind of scattered today. I did dig some mulch out in the front of our yard and spread it in the front of our plant bed, so that was good. So that kind of counts as exercise. I walked around the store to get ingredients for holiday cookies I'm going to be making very soon. And then again, returning an item with my sister and walking to get some caramel popcorn for the cookies. And then 1 hour of walking while listening to a man talk about a 4chan whistleblower on YouTube in the form of bedtime UFO stories. He has very calming British accent, and he has like rain playing in the background of the his narration of the events that he's describing. And I think that's very cool. I really like the vibe of that video. And it's like really long too. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. So yeah, I think I'm like an hour and 20 minutes and I got 20 minutes left of that video. It's really interesting. He basically describes like how aliens are basically just a species that solely exists to just unfeelingly observe what's going on, and they only interfere if we're at risk of harming ourselves. So, pretty interesting. And yeah, that was the last bit of exercise I did, an hour walk. All right, well, that pretty much concludes the diet portion. How about the daily portion? Well, when I woke up in the morning, I remember feeling extremely refreshed. At around 10:30 a.m., I used the restroom, checked my weight, but before I could, our family friend was using the restroom with the scale, so I had to wait. While I was waiting, I went to the kitchen, I greeted my mom, we both hugged, and then I remember I told her that I wanted to make some hot chocolate, so I was going to do that after measuring myself. She said, "You should drink some coffee." I said, "After measuring." So once her family friend was done, I measured myself. That's when I found out my weight of 146.4. And then afterwards, I announced that to my mom. She told me how she's doing with her diet journey. And then I started working on the keto-friendly hot chocolate. I put half and half. I decided to make it for both me and my mom. I got an idea when I saw a Chalk Zero peppermint bark chocolate that was sitting on the counter, and I was like, well, it'd be kind of cool to use that. I know some people melt their chocolate into hot chocolate to give it a richer, more fuller taste. So that's what I decided to do. Add that with the coffee, and the half and half and the cocoa powder. I think it would be good. But something weird happened as I was mixing the chocolate around. Little granules started to rise up to the top of the hot cocoa mix. And that confused me because I don't know how those granules got there. They just appeared. So, very odd. Not sure where they came from, and it kind of made the coffee or hot chocolate look a little questionable, but I still continued making it, and I poured it in a cup for me and my mom. I put 2 equals in mine. She only wanted 1 equal in hers after having a sip and saying it's fine the way it is, but she'll take 1 equal. And yeah, I would say that overall the hot cocoa this time around was all right. It definitely did have a richer texture to it, but my biggest qualm with it was just the weird granules that were floating to the top. They kind of ruined the look and presentation and maybe made me second guess what I was drinking. It was really weird. Well, after I was done making that, I decided to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with the keto bread, the my normal jelly, and regular peanut butter. And I had my peanut butter and jelly with my hot chocolate. I was sitting in the living room drinking and eating while me and my mom were talking. I forget exactly what we were talking about. What I do remember was that I think it had something to do about there was like a tragedy that happened recently where a son had taken the lives of his parents in Hollywood, and it was an extremely tragic event. And usually when things like that happen, my mom is all interested in the updates and the news and just talking about the overall scenario and situation, about how that could have happened or why it happened or what we thought was going through the head of the perpetrator who did it. So, yeah, we had a conversation about that. That was very interesting. And then afterwards, my sister was up. I greeted her, and she asked me if I could help out to the front of the house, digging up mulch and spreading in the front garden bed of the house. I said I would, but first I was going to do a quick bit of research on my phone about a certain obligation I needed to do. So that's what I did. Once I was done with that, I decided to put on my rainproof boots for the first time today in an extensive wear. I had not worn them extensively since I bought them, where I only tried them once and then put them away. I got them for when it starts raining again, so I'll be prepared for when that happens. But I decided to put them on today for yard work because I was expecting them to be kind of like boot shoes, where they would protect my feet from getting any dust or debris inside. So that's what I did. I went out with my shorts on, and I got started helping my sister dig up mulch and move it around into the front garden bed. As we were doing that, my mom would be checking in and going back in and doing her business in the house. And yeah, we were just working and having some casual conversations back and forth with each other, and that was very nice. I really liked that. After about a while, I said that I really would want to start working on my cookies. So my sister suggested I do 5 more container bin fulls of the mulch and spreading in the garden bed before doing the cookie recipe. So I said, all right. So I did that. And then once I was able to do that, I immediately left and I watched the Babish 10 Levels of Cookies video. And I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. Do I want the Toll House? Do I want the Toll House Plus? Do I want the Toll House Plus Age? Do I want the Everything in the Kitchen Sink one? Ultimately, I decided on the Everything in the Kitchen Sink one. But the problem was we didn't really have many of the ingredients that were listed in there, in that recipe. So I made it a point to go to Walmart and get them. So I said goodbye to my sister and my mom, and I'd be right back. I drove off and I did some shopping. I went a little crazy, ultimately spent around like $63 on everything that I needed. That's a lot, but I'm hoping that it ultimately pays off by the end. So once I was done, I brought everything back, and then I got started. But before I decided to get started making the cookies, I was quite hungry. So I decided to make some grilled hot dogs. I was originally just going to nuke them in the microwave, but then I was like, you know what? I'm feeling like grilled hot dogs right now. I don't really feel like nuked hot dogs. So I cooked those. I cooked the keto bread for the last minute. I cooked the hot dogs for 10 minutes on the outdoor grill. I put the mayonnaise, the mustard, the zero sugar ketchup I got from the store, and then I ate that with the Harvest Snaps while watching a new Red Letter Media video where they were talking about AI slop and how it's permeating the culture, and how their concerns for it are growing, and how they are unsure if it's something that's actually good for humanity or if it's something that they should really, worry about. But after I was done eating, I was 10 minutes into the 50-something minute video, and I wanted to watch it. Well, and I kind of couldn't put my full attention on it if I was making the cookies, so I decided to find something else to listen to while I was making the cookies. And I decided to listen to Simi and Jimmy video on, well, it wasn't a video, it was a podcast where he's talking with his friends, Hartsy Protsy and Erich McCoy, where they talk about the movie Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I have zero interest in that franchise. The only reason why I tuned in was because I enjoy their banter of podcast hosts and hearing what they have to say about the film. Because, but you know, one is direct and blunt. One is like kind of their opinions are really biased towards the franchise, and so they have their strong beliefs in why they enjoy it. And but they also submit that they can't really defend the movie. They believe it's terrible. And the other one is just completely like indifferent towards the whole thing. So it's a pretty fascinating and funny discussion, I would say. After and so I was listening to that. I was making the cookies. I had to brown the butter first. Browning butter's a little tricky because not only do you need to take the butter off at the right time. You know, it's apparently a 5 to 10 minute process, but after that 5 minutes is up, you need to carefully guard the butter to make sure that it's not going to over brown and thus burn, because the last thing you want is burned butter in your cookies. So as soon as it showed signs of browning, I turned it off and I put it in a glass bowl and had a really rich and nutty aroma. It was very nice. And then another trick you need to do to keep brown butter decent, apparently, is to put some ice cubes in there so they can melt into the butter. And the reason why you want to do that is because as you're browning butter, a lot of the moisture that helps with the cookie making process evaporates due to the heat and steam. And in order to recover that moisture to ensure that your cookies will come out solid, you need to reintroduce moisture through ice. So that's what I did. And then I need to put it in the fridge for it to solidify and not completely harden, but like, you know, firm up over an hour. So that's what I did. And as I was doing that, I mixed together flour, baking soda, and salt. I put that away. Then I pre-measured the sugar and the white sugar, brown sugar. And I got out our handy-dandy electric mixer. So once all of that was pretty much primed and ready, I suggested to my sister if she wanted to if she wanted to watch the Red Letter Media video about AI slop with me, from beginning to end, and she agreed. So we watched the video, and yeah, pretty depressing, not gonna lie. There was basically Mike Stoklasa, Jay Bauman, and Rich Evans all having a discussion about what they think about like the technology of artificial intelligence and the general talking points about like where the future may be headed for us as a civilization if this technology continues to improve. How they don't believe it's a bubble, but more so something that's just going to permeate and continue to get more and more advanced as time it goes on. How they don't like how it's being used for dumb reasons, like making Batman fight Predator. They'd much rather it be used for practical and good reasons like data gathering and helping find cures for diseases and, you know, making people's lives less miserable. Stuff like that. So, yeah, it was a very in-depth discussion. And then the timer went off for the brown butter. I went over to check it. I felt like it needed 15 more minutes. I timed it for another 15 minutes. While we were waiting, my sister decided to make tea for me and her. And so we had the tea brewed and poured as we were just hanging out, talking, shooting the breeze. We continued watching the Red Letter Media video. Before the timer went off, I checked the cookies again. The butter for the cookies again. It was good to go. So I took the butter out. I put it into the electric mixer with the white and dark brown sugar. I turned it on and had it mixed up, and the aroma was really good. It was absolutely divine, you could say. It was so rich and creamy and had sort of a toffee-esque scent to it. It was just really tasty. It's hard making stuff like that when you're on a diet because you just want to reach in and try, but you can't because you're going to get kicked out of ketosis. So had to avoid eating that. But yeah, once that was done, I put in an egg. I put in an egg yolk. I put in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Mixed that in. Once that was good to go, I chopped up a baking semi-sweet chocolate bar. And I asked, as I was doing all that, I was asking my sister if she could toast some nuts so we could put that into the batter. She did, specifically walnuts. She toasted them in the brown butter. Once they were toasted, I mixed the toasted walnuts with the semi-sweet chocolate baking bar. I chopped them up together a bit finer, and then I slid them in. Well, after I put mixed the wet ingredients with the dry flour ingredients, and then I put the mixers in. I also put 1 cup of traditional semi-sweet chocolate chips. And so once that was all mixed and ready to go, I put it in a plastic bag and put it away in a fridge. And now it must age for about 3 days till eventually cheat day arrives on December 19th, and I can take that out and make cookies with it. And the way I'm planning on making the cookies with the everything in the kitchen sink method is I'm going to take the finished batter, and then I'm going to mix in Cinnamon Toast Crunch, pretzels, kettle chips, Heath bars, and caramel popcorn in there. Reason being, I watched the Babish video of him doing that, and even though that sounds kind of excessive and over the top, the final result looked so good and he made it sound so good with the way he was eating it that I just was like, I have to try this. This looks amazing. So yeah, that's what's gonna come up in the next 2.5, 3 days from now. It's gonna be exciting to see how it turns out. Looking forward to it. Well, after I was done, I cleaned up all the tools that I used and put them away. And after that, I remember I finished the Red Letter Media video with my sister while drinking the tea that she made for me. And then my sister decided to do Duolingo. I decided to watch a bit of a Digital Foundry video about best graphics of the year. They were talking about like various. They started it off with like the Switch 2 games because they're going from from the very lower tier to the upper echelon. And so I was like, okay, so they're basically just including Switch 2 as a consolation prize. Like they included Kirby Air Riders, they included Mario Kart World, and afterwards, they talked about Silent Hill F for PC and consoles, and then they talked about some game I've never heard of before, but it has sort of a analog look and style similar to Alien Isolation. It's like a horror game that's trying to go for a retro aesthetic. And it tries to create a really uneasy, uncomfortable atmosphere. And yeah, that's about all I can say about that one. Like it looks like it's like a science fiction game, like takes place in a retro future. Looks really interesting. But I forgot the name of that one, so I can't really say much about it other than that. But anyways, afterwards, I was getting deeper into it. I decided to pause the video, use the restroom, and then I realized, wait a minute, Babish said caramel corn, not caramel bits. Because when I went to the store to get my supplies, I got caramel bits. But it turns out that the recipe called for caramel corn as in caramel popcorn. So once I realized that, I asked my sister if she wanted to come with me to the store so I could return an item, and if she wanted to tag along, she could, and she agreed. So I went to the store. We waited a while in the customer service line. The person who went to the line said, "Sorry, we're closed, but you know what? I can help you with that." I was like, "Oh, thank you." So she looked at the item, she scanned it in, she administered the return of the cash, and she said I was good to go. So I was very grateful for that. Thank you very much. Then I went and I found the caramel popcorn. I went over to the self-checkout. I bought it, and then we left. When we arrived home, my mom had arrived. Before we left to the store, my mom and my sister were talking while my sister was cuddling the cat Call Me. And she was saying she was doing some Christmas shopping, and that's why she was out for like most of the day. But she had arrived back, and when she arrived back, she was eating a tamale that was microwaved. It was actually from a tamale pie that she made with our family friend. It didn't turn out the best because of too much masa being used. And then my sister decided to start the oven for a pie that my mom bought. Because my mom, when she was talking to my sister about doing Christmas shopping, she also said that she got an apple pie. But then I said, well, I mean, we don't have any vanilla ice cream, and also I'd like to try some, but I'm currently on my diet. I was wondering if we could hold off on that until maybe later, because I don't just plan on being off one day for my keto diet on the 19th. I actually plan on going from the 19th to the 25th because it's the holidays, and I've been doing this diet for like 150 something days, and I think I deserve a little extended holiday break. I mean, I kind of did the same exact thing for Thanksgiving almost 3 weeks ago, so I think it's only fair to do it for Christmas, and plus I'm almost at my ideal weight, so I think it'd be kind of cool. Yeah, but yeah, so basically I was saying, hey, we could have the pie like on the 19th, and she was like, all right, I'll make some banana bread instead. So she decided to make banana bread. And then me and my mom decided to watch new Y-Files that just appeared. But I was getting hungry, so I made a ham and cheese sandwich. When that was good to go, I went out into the den with my mom, and we... and I also had chicharrones with... I first tried them with sriracha. I kind of liked it. I looked at the back of the bottle. Turns out there's 1 gram of carbohydrate per 1 teaspoon. So it's like, dang, that's kind of a lot. Then I looked at the back of the chamoy, and there's 3 grams of carbohydrates per 1 tablespoon. I was like, dang, that's also a lot. I was like kind of pouring that a bit. I hope I didn't take too much to the point where I was kicked out of ketosis. But luckily, the Louisiana sauce didn't have a whole lot of carbs in it, so I just used that on chicharrones that our family friend got decided to share with the family, so that was nice. Me and my mom watched the video. It was about a old Egyptian location that had like a maze of like records that were hidden underground that could potentially change our understanding of ancient history, but are being what do you call that? Gate kept by some higher up officials, archaeological officials. So I think that's a shame. I think that if it's something that changes the course of human understanding history, then everyone deserves to understand it, not just a select few, but that's just me. Yeah, after we're done watching that, I decided to go on for an hour walk while listening to a British guy talk about a Reddit, sorry, not a Reddit, a 4chan UFO or USO, unidentified submerged object whistleblower, who was doing a Q&A. Well, I was walking throughout the neighborhood. Walking out the neighborhood was kind of ethereal and really spooky in a weird way because it was an extremely misty night. And I did not see one person that was out and about walking. I did see some cars pass by, but I was like by myself. It kind of felt like I stepped into a Silent Hill version of my neighborhood. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time. Just something about the calming, soothing voice of the British guy talking about UFO lore while traversing the streets of my neighborhood in misty, thick fog just was such a vibe and mood that I honestly wouldn't mind re-experiencing again. It was a lot of fun. I really liked it. Now, when I returned, my sister was on her phone in the living room. She told me she made some chicken because she was getting hungry, but she didn't eat all of it. And she said that there was some that there were some leftovers that I could have. I decided to try 2 pieces. It was so good I had to have it a second time with the second piece. But I also thought, oh, it's late and I don't want to eat too much before going to bed. So I'm just going to have those samplers and I'll put it in Tupperware. And would it be all right if I had some tomorrow? I asked my sister for lunch and she said, yeah, of course. So I put it in a plastic Tupperware. I closed it, took my vitamins, brushed my teeth, and I also did some mouthwash too. And now I'm here. And that's pretty much my day in a nutshell. Overall, I would say that I am really grateful that I was able to get the whole cookie bowl rolling. I'm glad that the cookies are now like proofing in the fridge, that they're going to hopefully be at their best when I'm able to consume them on the 19th of this month. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, that's going to do it for now. I'm going to go to bed tomorrow. One second. I thought for sure I had my, that's weird. Did I drop it? Is it here? Sorry about this technical difficulties. I normally have a remote controlled Bluetooth button that I use to turn off the camera with so I don't have to awkwardly reach around to turn the camera off, but for whatever reason it would appear that it has vanished into thin air for some reason. Huh. Well, that's a darn shame. I guess I'm just going to have to reach around the camera and turn it off instead. Alright, well, that's going to conclude this video for now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Take care.